This story is about a rich girl and a poor boy who hate each other. By mistake, both of them get stuck on a deserted, unknown island where there is no one except the two of them. After this, the lives of both change completely. At the beginning of the story, we are shown a lady named Amber, who is the wife of a very big businessman. Amber never talks to anyone nicely. Her behavior is very rude to everyone, which is why most people do not like her. Today, Amber is going on a cruise from Italy to Greece with two couples, where she wants to spend a few days on vacation. When all of them arrive on the cruise, the staff and the captain of the ship welcome everyone. The captain shakes hands with everyone, but Amber, who always has an attitude, walks ahead without shaking hands, which everyone finds strange. George, a man working on the ship, does not like Amber's attitude at all. George takes Amber's luggage and goes to her room. Amber asks if there is a gym on the ship. George leaves and brings a small bicycle, asking if this will do her work. He is actually making fun of her, which Amber does not like at all. She says that she can get him removed from his job. The next day, they go diving from small boats, but Amber does not dive because she is very scared of water, so she tells George to sit with her on the boat. George has to agree to her. Later, they return to the cruise ship, where everyone is having lunch. Amber does not like the food at all. She tells George that the food is cold and asks him to heat it and bring it back. George gets very angry because everyone else is eating happily. It comes to his mind that he should pour all the food on Amber's head and throw her in the water, but he cannot do it because he knows that if he does, Amber will not only get him fired, but will also file a case against him. That's why he quietly reheats the food. A few days pass on the cruise, and one day Amber says that she wants to go fishing. George explains that for fishing, they have to go far from here, and that the weather is going to get bad. He advises not to go fishing, but Amber never listens to anyone. So George is forced to take her away on a motorboat where they can fish. Soon they reach a place where there are a lot of fish, but as soon as they arrive, their motorboat stops automatically. George tries to start it, but even after many attempts, it doesn't start. When he checks the fuel, there's none left. Actually, George hadn't checked the fuel before leaving. Amber shouts at him a lot, but George doesn't accept his mistake. He says, "I already told you we shouldn't go fishing, but because of you, I'm stuck here too." Amber keeps shouting at him continuously. George has to remain silent out of compulsion. After some time, George tells her that this boat does not have fuel. That is why they have to wait here until someone comes to pick them up. They cannot move forward from here. Now both of them are stuck in the middle of the sea, although they are confident that soon someone will come to rescue them. For the next 6 days, however, no one comes and their food and water run out. After 6 days, Amber finds a gun inside the airboat. She thinks it is a flare gun and believes that firing it will signal any nearby ship to rescue them. But George says that it is not a flare gun and demands, "Give me that gun." She insists on firing it herself. George grabs the gun and by mistake it discharges, hitting part of the airboat. Air begins to leak from the boat and the balance is disturbed. Both of them fall into the water, but cling to a part of the boat and keep swimming. Night falls and soon a storm begins. They hold onto the boat parts through the rain and the wind. The next morning they open their eyes and see an island at some distance. They are overjoyed, certain someone will be there. Pushing through the water with their hands, they reach the island. Amber immediately warns George that her lawyer will have him arrested as soon as they return. George dislikes her words and walks away, telling her that if she does not like him, their paths end here. They search the whole island but find no one. It is deserted and lonely. George discovers a small house that someone must have built long ago. Inside, he finds some scattered supplies and tools. George fashions a simple spear to catch fish, then goes into the sea and returns with a catch. After a while, Amber arrives, having searched the island and found no one. She is hungry and exhausted because she has never lived like this before. She has always lived in luxury, and now out of hunger, she asks George for some fish. George refuses and says, "I will not give you anything to eat because you have always been arrogant and rude to me." Amber flies into a rage and throws mud at him. George loses his temper and slaps Amber. He tells her that if she wants food, she must call him master, wash his clothes, and never insult him again. Amber has no choice but to agree, because otherwise she will die of hunger and thirst. George is taking revenge, and Amber reluctantly begins washing his clothes. George also asks Amber to light a fire. He himself stays inside the house. He sleeps comfortably while Amber is not allowed to come inside. When Amber requests to come in, George says, "You'll have to sleep with me on my bed because there's very little space inside." But Amber refuses to sleep with him. George's behavior has become harsh and cold. Many days pass on the island, and although both of them still dislike each other, something begins to change between them. A strange chemistry starts developing. One day, George asks Amber to kiss his hand. She is forced to do it, thinking he will take advantage of her helplessness. But he doesn't. Instead, he says, "You've always spoken rudely to those younger or poorer than you. They are also human beings, and you should never forget your humanity." After saying this, he leaves angrily. In reality, George has started liking Amber. He only wants her to realize that her arrogance and behavior toward others were wrong. Amber finally understands this and goes to him. She realizes that she has fallen in love with George. George reminds her how rudely she treated everyone on the ship. Amber confesses, "I was going through a divorce and was under a lot of stress. I wasn't able to understand anything around me." Now both of them live happily together on the island. One day, when Amber goes to collect wood, she notices a cruise ship near the island. At first, she tries to signal it, but then she stops. She realizes that if she returns to her real life, she will lose George forever. George arrives there and tries to signal the cruise, but Amber stops him. She says, "If we leave this place, we'll be separated forever. I'm happy here with you, and I want to stay with you always." George replies, "If you truly love me, then no matter where you are, your love will never change." He has complete faith in Amber and believes she will return to him. He signals the cruise, and soon both of them are rescued. When they reach the port, Amber's husband arrives after hearing the news. He runs to her and hugs her tightly. George doesn't like this at all. Amber's husband tells George, "You saved my wife's life. I don't know how to thank you." George doesn't respond and quietly walks away. Later, he goes to a bar where a man arrives carrying a bag full of money. Amber's husband has sent this as a reward for George. George refuses to take it, but the man leaves the bag there and walks away. When George opens the bag, he sees it's filled with money. He decides to return it. On his way, he passes a jewelry shop where he sees beautiful and expensive rings. George buys a ring for Amber with that money because he has decided that he will marry her and stay with her forever. He calls Amber and tells her, "I miss you a lot." Amber replies, "I'll always support you, whatever your plan is. Write it in a letter and leave it at the reception of my hotel. Write the letter in my name only so that I'll receive it personally." George does exactly as she says. He writes a letter to Amber, expressing his love and hope for their future together. In the letter, he writes, "I want to marry you. We'll go to London from here and start a new life together. As soon as you get this letter, come to the port. I'll be waiting for you there." George leaves the letter at the hotel reception and walks away. But before Amber arrives, her husband reaches the reception and finds the letter. After reading it, he understands everything about Amber and George's relationship. He goes straight to Amber's room and tells her, "We have to leave for New York today." Amber, unaware of what's happened, is still waiting for George's letter, but she's forced to agree with her husband and leaves with him. As she sits inside the helicopter, a boy runs toward her, calling out that a letter has arrived for her. Her husband takes the letter from the boy and gives it to Amber. When Amber reads it, her heart shatters. The letter says, "I don't love you. Whatever happened on the island was just a time pass. It was the demand of that time. Now your path is different and mine is different." After reading it, tears fall from Amber's eyes. But the truth is, that letter wasn't written by George. Her husband had switched George's real letter with a fake one so that they would be separated forever. Meanwhile, George learns that Amber is leaving for New York. He rushes to the port as fast as he can, calling her name. But before he can reach her, the helicopter takes off. George shouts her name again and again, but his voice doesn't reach her. In despair, he throws the ring he bought for her toward the helicopter, but it falls into the sea. And just like that, the two lovers are separated forever. They both love each other deeply. Amber believes George betrayed her, while George believes Amber ignored his letter and didn't come to the port. And now they both must live the rest of their lives with this heartbreaking misunderstanding. What do you think about this ending? Tell me in the comments below. And please, if you felt the pain of this story, support my channel by subscribing. Your one click means a lot and helps me bring more emotional stories like this for you. Take care, bye.